Hi there, welcome to Riding Tandem. I'm Vivian, Kvam and co-owner of Tandem Works, and this episode is going to be a fabulous one if you ever feel stuck with your marketing, like you are just telling everybody all about your amazing product, but you're just not making sales. So I'm excited to unpack this marketing mindset shift with you. If you are just tuning in, Riding Tandem is all about supporting and encouraging and giving education as well to people just like you who are either in the middle of running a business, thinking about starting a business, or just getting started with your business. I'm delighted to have you here. Let's go ahead and jump in. Hi there. Welcome back to the Riding Tandem podcast. I'm Vivian Kvam, your host, and delighted as always to have you here today. We are talking about marketing mindset shifts for entrepreneurs that I believe I've been refining and working on these for many years through my own trial and error and running my own businesses. These are the mindset shifts that I believe every entrepreneur needs to think about and embrace as you embark and continue on your entrepreneurial journey. And so I'm talking through the 8 mindset shifts, and we are on number 3. So if you haven't had a chance in our previous episodes to check them out, episodes are out with mindset shift number 1 and 2. So be sure to check those out. What we're talking about today is marketing mindset shift number 3. And the idea with this one is that your customers really buy not so much off of the product that you sell, but the transformation. That's what sells. So the power of your story and why your customer's transformation sells more than your solution. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So we're diving into this 3rd mindset shift for marketing. It is one of the linchpins. That's why it's in the top 3. It's such an important one, and I'm excited to just be unpacking this with you today. So here's the thing. If you're focused on telling people about how amazing your product or your service is, but you're struggling to make sales, this episode is going to change everything for you. And I also want to just say that this is a very common roadblock or pitfall or myth that so many of us as entrepreneurs fall into. So you're not alone. In fact, early in my journey as an entrepreneur, I made this mistake 100%. And it's not that this mistake doesn't reoccur at times, and I have to remind myself about this mindset shift that needs to take place. I made the mistake of thinking that if I just explained how great my service was or the product that I have to sell, people would instantly just see the value and buy it. I mean, after all, I see the value in it. I see the value in it so much that I've been willing to completely transform and change my life to start and run this business, and for good reason. And so I talked a lot about, at the time, the deliverables, the processes, the strategies, and what they were going to receive and how superior that was. And what I realized over time is that people weren't buying that. They were buying what those things would do for them. So I'm going to talk some more on that here as the episode progresses and unpack a couple of examples for you. All right, so this is the myth that is holding you back. The myth is, if I build an amazing product or service and I just tell people about it, they will buy. And there's a little bit of, if you've listened to any of my episodes before, you've probably heard me say it, but I'll say it again. There is a common misunderstanding that if you build it, they will come, like the field of dreams. So if I've built my amazing product, I have opened my storefront, or I have my website set up, and I'm telling everybody about my amazing product and service, I've built it, right? Then people will come, they will buy. And this can feel so true for business owners because we're obsessed with what we've created. We think if we just get that word out and how incredible it is, people will just automatically see it. And the reality is that's just not true, because people don't buy products. They don't buy services. They buy outcomes. And that is the key here. They don't care how the plane works, right? They just want to get to their dream vacation. And so when you think about things in that way, you shift your mindset away from thinking just about your product or your service and all of the great bullet points that you can list out for your product or your service. And you start shifting instead, thinking about what the outcome is that they're going to have, and marketing on that story. It makes a world of difference. So A really simple example here. Say you're in like the fitness industry. If we think about that, you've been marketed to by the fitness industry. I guarantee it. I feel like they market to everybody, especially if like beginning of the year, right? Everyone gets hit with those things. But a gym, a good gym that does well, that has lots of memberships and is selling, they don't market themselves by listing the treadmill brands they use, right? They market, their primary marketing is based off of showing client transformations. So, for example, Sarah lost 30 pounds and feels confident in her own skin again. That's the type of successful marketing that I'm talking about. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't ever talk about the features that you have. There's certainly a time and place for the features within the sales process when people are in that kind of comparison, perhaps. But the bulk of marketing is going to happen around the stories that you can show about transformation. So, another example, let's say, you have a coach and the coaching transformation story here. So, a bad marketing tactic, if I can say it that strongly, would be, say you're a coach and you put out your marketing and it says things like, I offer 12 weeks of one-on-one coaching with weekly calls and personalized worksheets. And as a coach, like those are really great features, right? So that's what you're basing your marketing on. But what I haven't done is told any kind of story there, right? Great marketing would do something like, meet Rachel. 3 months ago, she was overwhelmed, stuck in her business, doubting herself. Now she's landed her dream clients, she's doubled her income, and finally feels in control of her business. So you could feel the difference there, right? When you hear those two stories, which one makes you more interested, more intrigued, and more interested in buying? Well, the second one, of course, because you can start to picture yourself and what you might look like. I remember somebody telling me once, early on in having a business, that Martha Stewart magazine was like a big thing within the industry. I worked in a wedding industry, owned a video and photo production company, and part of our brand did weddings. And Michaela actually was part of that brand and that company for a while as well, which was part of what led up to us working together in the future. But during that time, it being part of like Martha Stewart Wedding Magazine would have been super awesome. And so it just came up a lot. And I remember somebody saying that at the end of the day, what Martha Stewart Magazine is trying to do is to sell you the feeling that you will have if you buy that plate, right? Or you have that electric mixer, or you have that set of, special spatulas. And what they do, the good marketing, what they do is they take beautiful magazine pictures of, let's say, there's a plate for sale, a Martha Stewart plate. They take beautiful pictures of that plate in a gorgeous dining room with light pouring in and delicious food on the table and a smiling family slightly out of focus in the background. And what does it do? Well, it evokes this idea and this feeling of, if I buy that plate, that's how I'm going to feel. That's what my house is going to look like. And so even visually, this is a thing, right? It's not just with the words that we say, but visually when we're marketing, we want to shift ourselves from just talking about the features of the plate, right? If Martha Stewart magazine just had a picture of the plate, and then it listed all the features, that it was, fine china and hand painted and came from Italy. And it described, the beautiful colors, and it just described all the features, the durability, that you could put it in the dishwasher. I could guarantee they would not have sold nearly as many plates, because people don't buy off of the features. So, people, if you're doing a coaching or fitness program or software, it doesn't matter what it is, or if you're selling a product, at the end of the day, people are buying, confidence, freedom, clarity, results. So that's what you want to be thinking of within your own marketing. And this is true whether you're marketing a service to somebody or you're marketing a cupcake. It's the same either way. So the real key here is to focus on the before and the after story, not just what you offer. So when you sit down and you think about your service, your product, what it is that you offer to the world through your business and organization, I want you to stop for a moment and just jot down, okay, when somebody comes to me in my business or organization, here's their before story. This is where they're at, right? This is what they're stuck with. This is their pain point. This is the problem they're trying to solve. What is it? Make a list of those. And then I want you to think about what your product or service offers. So you can list all the features. So get it out, right? Get it out on paper. And then the third piece is I want you to write how that person looks, feels, what they say, what their results are, what kinds of wins, that they have had after they purchase your service or your product. And doing that exercise can help you be able to think through that before and after story. And the reason why these stories work and they are so important within marketing is because emotion drives decisions. At the end of the day, people do buy off of emotion. Even people who think that they're buying off of the features, right? Maybe they go and they do all of the reviews, right? They go and they look to see, does this one get a high review? What are the features in that? At the end of the day, what's still driving the reason that they're even looking at the features is because they have an emotional need that needs to be met. And then once they have reviewed all those things, thought through, what all of the different pros and cons are, they're still going to make an emotional decision off of, I feel good or confident about making this purchase because I have seen that others have felt that as well through those stories. So stories create a lot of relatability and they create connection. And that is where there's like true gold here. People need to see themselves. You want to help people picture themselves in the success story of what the after will look like once they have engaged with you and bought your product or engaged with your service. So another example here. This one I think is very easy to follow as well. Let's take Apple, like Apple phones, Apple iPhones. Apple doesn't sell iPhones by saying this has a 48 megapixel camera and an A17 chip, or I don't know if I got that all right, but they don't sell off of specs. Certainly they share them, but that's not how they sell them. Instead, they might show a video of a dad capturing his daughter's first bike ride in stunning quality, right? And the message is this phone helps you capture moments that matter. And then it might dive into that you're able to capture those because of the 48 megapixel camera, et cetera. But the real bulk of the marketing that is going on there is in the story of the dad capturing his daughter's first bike ride and people thinking, I want to be able to do those things. And of course, I want it to be in stunning quality. I therefore need a 48 megapixel camera on my iPhone. Another example you could think of here is, say, like a web designer and using storytelling there. So poor marketing would be to maybe put out a marketing message like, I create high converting websites with optimized UX and mobile responsiveness. Okay, that's good. Those are good features that people may need to know, but it's not great marketing. Great marketing would be a message, something like this. Sarah was embarrassed to send people to her outdated website. After we worked together, she had a sleek, modern site that brought in 3 times more sales and finally matched her brand's personality. Okay, so you could see right here, right? What they're doing is they're relating to their clients' pain points and their prospective clients' pain points. If any of you have had a website, you know this feeling, right? Sarah was embarrassed to send people to her outdated website. A lot of people can read just that line and be like, yep, hand raise, I have been there. So we're already making an emotional connection there. And then it says, after we worked together, she had a sleek, modern site that brought in 3 times more sales and finally matched her brand's personality. You can feel the relief there, right? And if you were somebody struggling with your website, you're thinking, that is the after story that I want. That is the success that I'm looking for. Okay, tell me more about what you offer and what you can do. It's at that point that I want to know things about, that it's optimized, that you can do mobile responsiveness, but not at the beginning. That is really more part of the sales connection process. Okay, so I want you to think about this like a formula. It's the transformation story formula. Sometimes this helps things stick when you can get it into like a step by step, right? So the formula is this: there's before, the shift, and then after. So before, what was the client struggling with? That's what you want to think through. What is it that they're struggling with? What is their pain? What's holding them back? The shift. Think about what changed when they worked with you or they bought your product. So thinking through, they went from this before, they went through a shift. What's changing? That's the transformation. And then the last piece of the formula, which is after. What does their life or their business or their family look like now? So if you can use that transformation story formula, then you can start crafting really impactful marketing messages no matter what it is that you are offering out to the world. Okay, so let's talk about how to implement this in your marketing. What I want you to do is think through this formula. So the formula of the transformation story formula of before, the shift, and after. So how you're implementing this, I want you first to think about auditing your messaging. So look at your website, look at your social posts and sales page. Are you talking about you and your products and the features of that product? Or are you talking about how your client's life changes after working with you, the transformation piece? And this is one that we help people a lot with here at Tandem Works, is going through and auditing with you your website page by page, looking at your social media posts, looking at sales pages, or looking at even print materials. So if you do sales flyers or brochures about your business and your product, this is one of the areas that is key that we help quite a few of our clients with through our one-on-one sessions that we book. Or through our roadmap, our marketing and communication roadmap sessions. And it's something we hit on in our workshops quite often as well. When you're looking at your website and you're seeing the language there, just look for the things like trigger words like we, us, ours. And if you're seeing a lot of that, then my hunch is that your messaging is largely focused on you, the business, and the features and details of what it is you bring. If you see a lot of language on there like you, so if you see the word you on your website, in your social posts, and on your sales pages, then my hunch is that you probably are doing a decent job with creating messaging about your clients. And that is really the important piece here. So if that's a conversation you'd ever like to have, be sure to look for our booking links in the notes here. We book one-on-one sessions where we can just sit down and look at one piece together, and we can roll up our sleeves, troubleshoot through that, and help you get some of those areas like your website, your social posts, and your print materials focused on the transformation stories and not on all of your features. So there's a couple of ways that you can use client transformations within your marketing. And I'm going to list a couple of ideas here for you so you can be thinking about those. One of those would be case studies and testimonials. So instead of just asking for review, you might ask your clients to describe where they were before and where they are now. So asking that very specifically can be very helpful when you're gathering reviews from your clients. In their own words, they will describe the pain points that they were feeling in that before piece of the formula, and then they're going to give the where they're at now piece of the formula. And it's so powerful to have it in people's actual words who have experienced that with you. This then can lead to some really great case studies. Case studies is another great example of a more expanded type of testimonial where you are helping curate the story together of, this is where my client was, and now this is where they're at, and here's how we got there. So it gives you an opportunity to be able to put together the transformation story, like we've been talking about, while still being able to highlight the unique pieces about your service or product that are important as well. So it sandwiches it all together really nicely. Another great place that you can use this is on your social media. So example here, like instead of posting 5 reasons why my product is great, You could instead share a customer success story, maybe in a carousel post or a video that hits on 5 areas that they were transformed in, right? Or 5 areas that you're able to highlight that your product is great, but you're doing it through the transformation story of your customer. Those are so powerful. So be thinking about that as well when you are going to talk about a service or product you offer, which you do need to do. Think about how you can use story and narrative to make those social posts that much more engaging. And that will also help with your reach with those posts as well. People are much more likely to engage with a post that has some story and some narrative to it that shows transformation, because they're going to start to picture either themselves within that story, and that's going to resonate and they will comment, or even better, or maybe not better, but it as well, they may picture a friend or a colleague and go, oh, that sounds just like so-and-so. And that's where you start to have tags and shares, and it takes it beyond the likes. And that's really powerful too. Another area that this can be very helpful is in a sales call. So when you are talking to a potential client, don't pitch your features. What you want to do instead is say things like, one of my clients was in your exact shoes. Here's what happened when they started working together with me and our team. Or here's what happened when they purchased this product. And so being able to help connect the dots where you can say, yeah, I get you because I've worked with somebody like you who had a similar struggle in the past. Here's their before story. Here's their transformation story. Helps build a lot of credibility as well. You're not just trying to sales pitch them based off of all of your features. You allow the story to just unpack that in a really natural narrative type of way. Okay. So I have a little bit of a challenge for you for this episode. I think having something that's a great takeaway is so important. It's one of our things here at Tandem Works that we are so passionate about, is that we are curious and we are also problem solvers. And anytime we offer any type of service here, we promise that there is always a takeaway for you. And that's one of the things that our clients say all the time is, I came to your workshop. I wasn't sure what to expect. I knew I needed to learn more about this topic because I was struggling in it. And I loved the workshop or the teaching because I left with a takeaway, not just theory. I had something I could take away and actually use and implement. So it wasn't just, where I get jazzed up rah and go, that was awesome. I'm so glad I listened to that, but I actually have something to apply. And that is reoccurring with our clients. It's one of the things that we're very committed to. So here's your challenge for you listeners today. I want you to take one piece of marketing content. Maybe it's an Instagram post. It could be your website homepage. Maybe it's your elevator pitch, and rethink it, rewrite it to focus on a client transformation instead of just your offer. So that is your challenge, should you choose to accept. And if you do this challenge, I would love to hear from you. I would love to know more about that. Grab a screenshot of what it looks like right now, or write down an example of how it feels and what it looks like now. And I would love to see the transformation that you chose to take with that. Okay, so a quick little recap here for you. At the end of the day, this mindset shift is all about the idea that marketing is not about what you offer. It's about the transformation your clients experience. So, to say it short, sell the story, not the specs. All right. I hope this was a really helpful episode for you. It's something that you can apply right away. Again, I would love to hear from you as you are applying this mindset shift into your marketing. And if it's an area that you're feeling stuck in, a roadblock or a struggle, do keep in mind that we offer our one-on-one sessions. Would love to chat with you. You can book those directly on our website. There's a link and you pick it based off of your calendar. It books onto our calendar, and I can sit down side by side with you over Zoom, and we will have a look at, say, your website homepage or a print marketing material, your social posts, wherever it is that you're doing your marketing. Happy to help you brainstorm and work through that. In the next episode, we're going to be talking about mindset shift number 4. And that one is all about stop hiding behind your branding, that people connect with you more than they connect with your branding. And the myth here that we're going to be talking about is the idea that you need a cool logo or a slick website or a polished whatever, right? Everything before you can market your service. So this will be a really exciting episode. This is one where entrepreneurs often get stuck. They get stuck in the perfection piece or needing to have all of these things put together. And I have some fun stories to share with you about how we most certainly did not have it all together and still have been able to run a successful business. So I don't want this to be one of the areas you get stuck in. Be sure to tune in for that. So if this episode clicked with you, you liked what you heard, I want to make sure you don't miss that one. Be sure to subscribe, of course, wherever it is you're listening to this podcast. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Jump onto our Facebook messages. We are Tandem Works, and you can catch me there through messages, or one of the best ways to do that too is to get into our email list. And so you can do that in the links in the show notes as well. I have a number of you that reach out in email, and I love that. Thank you so much for building that community and us being able to have that dialogue. I love to answer questions there. So feel free to reach out at any time and I will respond. And I want to hear your transformation stories from your business and how you are using those. So again, if this was helpful, please be sure to share it with another entrepreneur, leave a review, and it's always helpful to subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this series on the 8 mindset shifts for entrepreneurs. All right, we'll see you in the next episode. Hey, I hope that episode was super helpful for you. A couple of quick things I just wanted to share with you. If you are feeling stuck and you're looking for help within your business or your organization, Michaela and I do offer one-on-one sessions, and you can book those by going to our website or looking for the link right here in the show notes. And it goes directly onto your calendar and ours, and we will meet with you, roll up our sleeves, and help you brainstorm and find solutions. There are so many ways that people have used these where people have come in maybe confused about how to use ChatGPT to be more efficient with their business. Or we've had people who have used these who were just really stuck with their social media and not getting the engagement they wanted and feeling like maybe they should give up on social media. We've been able to sit alongside people just like that, help them through these one-on-one sessions to be able to get the answers that they need and get a plan together and feel supported. And they've been very successful with those. So it's been exciting. So be sure to check that out. We also offer our roadmap and communication sessions. These are full-blown sessions where we sit down with you, we unpack everything about your business and your organization, and we help you come up with a full roadmap for your marketing and communications that you can implement in a very easy phase-by-phase approach. So if you're feeling like with your marketing, you're just kind of throwing stuff at the wall, this is definitely for you, where you can feel a sense of peace and clarity and direction in knowing what is going to work for your marketing and how to approach it, what string to pull first. So many of our clients come in and they just feel overwhelmed with their marketing, and they might even be throwing a lot of time and money resources at the wrong things. And so through these marketing roadmap sessions, we are able to help clients gain more clarity and freedom with their time and with their money and resources so that they can have a successful marketing and communications plan going forward. Last thing I just wanted to say, for all of our local listeners who are local to the Omaha and Council Bluffs and that metro area, Michaela and I are teaching some classes out at Iowa Western Community College, centered all around business identity and sales and business connections. And so if any of those topics sound of interest to you, I'm going to invite you to hop over to our website, thetandemworks.com, and look for the drop down for the classes with Iowa Western Community College. Be sure to check those out. It'll be a really fun way to connect with our local listeners. All right, we'll see you in the next episode.